So you tell me if Latinos aren't the most successfully colonized, considering they are voting people in that continue to hurt our community, all for their proximity to whiteness, because for some reason they believe that that's upward progression when a white man's leadership has never led us to liberty. They believe that they are Christian and Catholic by choice. And it's not by choice. It's by observational knowledge and colonization. The people around them were Christian and Catholic. They believe that their religion is the optimal religion and will not study other ones because that goes against their primary quote unquote belief. But it's not their belief. It was the colonizers' belief, because when the Spanish came with a Bible in one hand and a gun in another. And in order to successfully colonize a group, you need to do a couple of things. One, remove their language. They've made us believe that Spanish is our own tongue, which is why we mock people saying, tienes el nopal en la cara and you don't speak Spanish, not even knowing that that term is also derogatory to mean you look indigenous and you don't speak Spanish. The words of the oppressor. You and I also speak bastard Spanish, not authentic Spanish. A lot of our Spanish is mixed in with indigenous words. And if you go to Spain, they will let you know that. 2, introduce an organized religion. One that says that you will obey the law of the land, that you will obey your mother and your father, because they didn't come with women. The Spanish just came with men, and then they raped our children, which is why they were also heavy on the you must forgive. To further that, then you have to eradicate their beliefs and their spirituality. You also need to steal all their riches so they don't remember, as well as removing all of their hard work that they've done. We know the Mayans were leading in astronomy. So they burned books, they removed all the monuments that they had, and they stripped them away from everything that they knew. Then they create a caste system. One where they say that the lighter you are, the more intelligent, the more powerful you are. And they do this because they created a white Jesus, when we know the Bible says that Jesus had bronze skin and hair of wool. Last time I checked, white people don't have hair of wool. They don't. Black people do, though. When you create a liberator of sins to look white, you convince the indigenous community that whiteness somehow means greatness. Then the colonizer introduces racism in their mind because they target a few while lifting up the rest. For example, we had the Spanish on the top, the mestizos that were mixed with Indian and Spanish. Then you had the mulattos, and then so on and so forth, and then the negros, right? And when you have this separation, you can target a group of people and say they are the bad ones. We should all go against them, while not understanding that the oppressed is a collective experience. It doesn't matter if we were mestizo or mulatto or negro. Yes, the negros suffered a lot freaking more, but that doesn't mean that the mestizo and mulatto didn't. All in all, to say, racism in the Latino community, which I don't even like saying Latino. That's like fucking saying you're American. Like, what kind of American are you? Are you European American? Are you Black American? Are you Mexican American? Latino is a term that means you just speak Latin from Rome. Last time I checked, we're not Roman. And Hispanic just means you belong to Spain. I'm sorry, I don't belong to Spain. I prefer the term indigenous, but that's for another day. When you engrave colorism, remove someone's religion, remove their language so they don't pass down stories or beliefs, then you have successfully colonized a group. Not just colonize them by ripping this stuff away from them, but colonize their mind. Once this all takes place, this means that the indigenous community will no longer understand that the land is their mother, that they only take what they need. And that is what the Europeans wanted. They wanted ownership. They could not understand how the indigenous people gave so freely, how they didn't own anything. In fact, Christopher Columbus mocked the Taínos to say how foolish they were, that they did not believe in ownership. So now that we've discussed a little bit of history, how does that play into today? We lump ourselves up with the term Latino and Hispanic, and then even then we can't even go deeper. And when we ask what type of Latino and Hispanic you are, you only know your nationality. You only know Guatemalan and Mexican, which again is kind of like American. What kind of Mexican are you? What kind of indigenous tribe do you come from? Many people to this day do not know. So when you have separated someone so far away from their origins, guess what? The colonizer has won, because you forgot that you're native to this land, that we're indigenous to this land. They make you believe that you are the outsider when the outsider has always been them. And to this day, they make you believe that indigenous people are the savages, that the indigenous people were the only ones to make sacrifices. I'm sorry. It's the European Americans that are the savages and the murderers. Aren't they still sacrificing people today? Aren't they still killing people today? We have modern day lynchings. We still have police killing. We still have biological warfare. They're still making us sick. If you're ready to uncover the truth, the ones that white people did not want to teach us, the ones that the government did not want to teach us, make sure you follow me for more, because